rounds matches. We've done some 4-way round robins. Now, across North America right now, there seems to be a big influx of the pro circuits. Travis Bagent has started up the NAL in conjunction with Biotech. We have Dave DeVoto and the PAC has run a couple of things off down at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut that I finally got to see just this past weekend. Thanks Chris Ganji for the tape that I finally got to see it, and the guys put on a great show. I can't wait to see on video or on TV what Travis has done with the NAL. Everybody says that was a great show. So how do you feel about the designation between so-called amateurs and pros?
Well, every sport has to have your amateurs. You have to have your pros. I mean, it's the one thing we've kind of been lacking. We've kind of all gone one way. I think and the great thing right now is everybody's trying different stuff. Travis is experimenting a little bit with the rules down there in his NAL. Some guys like it, some guys don't, just like anything. And trying to make it fan friendly, TV friendly, and that's the whole key, is trying to get on television. Once you get on TV, then you get the sponsors to back you up, and that's what really drives the sport, is the television coverage. So we've got to make some changes. The amateurs, as far as WAF go, I think we have to stay the same with the strict rules, just like any sport, but then the pros will tend to have a tendency to adjust the rules to suit the television.
Okay, so we've had TV back in the 70s. I'm quite sure you probably remember Johnny Walker, Cleve Dean, watching these names on ABC's Wide World of Sports. So then it was gone, it's been back. Pro football players and the Yukon Jack series that was on television, and now Dave DeVoto has been hooked up with ESPN down in the US. Here in Canada, we can't seem to get any coverage. And
no.
Why do you think that is?
Because the sports channels want us to pay big money to get on there, and basically we just don't have the money to get on there. I think if they put us on at a half-decent time frame, we've been on, TSN before, but I mean, at the middle of the night, middle of the morning, when, who's really home? I mean, I think if they put us on at a half-decent time, they'd be, surprised at what kind of ratings we could pull in.
Okay.
But I mean, first of all, people need to know that we're there. I mean, I've heard people, I've had us on cable TV before, and more people saw that than I could count, and people were coming up and, oh yeah, I saw you on television. And that's just on, like, the Channel 10 let people just happen to, land on by mistake when they're channel surfing type thing. So, I mean, I think if somebody would actually step up and take a chance, a sponsor, TSN, or what's the other one?
Sportsnet.
Sportsnet, sorry guys, would take a chance and try some arm wrestling. I think they'd be surprised at what kind of ratings they could pull in. But they've got to be able to back it up a little, not just throw us on in the middle of the night and see what kind of ratings you get. And
not to bash any network, but arm wrestling can't get on TV, but I've seen skip roping and cheerleading, and I'm quite sure they have their following in that. I don't know how much of a draw skip roping is on sport, on a sports channel.
Well, the one that's driving me crazy right now is the poker. Where's the sport in that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But every time you turn on the sports channel, all you see is poker. I know this is getting to be a bit of a bitch fest here, but I mean, even if they put, I wouldn't mind if Canadian sports TV put on cheerleading, put on these things, but put on the Canadian one. Why are we getting the American cheerleading competitions when there's not even a Canadian in the bunch?
Yeah. So, do you think that with what's happening down in the States right now with Dave DeVoto and Travis, so that is going to benefit us up here in Canada eventually?
Oh, for sure. I mean, like I said, if ESPN picks it up, then TSN or Sportsnet might pick it up, and maybe they can see what this can actually draw. If they, like I said again, if they put it on to half decent hour and let people know that it is coming on. Most people find out about it just because they have to be flipping through the channels and come across it, and they stop and watch it. But if nobody knows it's on.
Well, I know with the UFC and the reality show, The Ultimate Fighter, that's just MMA has just exploded all across North America. And not only do you have the UFC on network television now, you tune in TSN and Sportsnet, and they have different little circuits. And even here in in Halifax now we have a local circuit that has started up, and MMA has just gone crazy, all a result of one reality show that was started up by Spike TV in the U.S.
Yeah.
So if Travis is successful,
it's in $1 million company into $1 billion company.
well, yeah, they just ended up buying their chief rival, Pride Fighting, over in Japan. They ended up buying them.
Yeah.
And so now they basically control all the best fighters that are out there right now. And if they don't control them right now, I'm pretty sure they're working damn hard on getting them in their stable.
Yeah.
So if Travis is successful, everybody could benefit.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you know, and I think that's what most, you know, there used to be a lot of animosity behind, you know, some of the people who were, you know, getting successful in the sport. Now it's like, you need some people, you need personalities out there. People need to associate with this person, that person. And before they didn't realize that, oh yeah, just so-and-so is, you know, being famous out of this. Well, if he can be famous, he can drag everybody else along with him.
Well,
be it Travis, be it John, be it
look,
whoever.
we have John Brzezinski, Ron Bass, some living legends in arm wrestling. And then you have a personality, like Travis comes along, and just seems to drag everybody with him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's certainly dragging John and Ron and Michael Todd and some of the other top guys in the U.S. along with him. And his personality is just larger than life when he's in front of the cameras or he's on stage and he's arm wrestling, and he's so dominant that
left-handed.
Left-handed, yeah.
Left-handed.
That's right.
I think a few guys would be a little upset if you said he was dominant right-handed.
He's still looking pretty good right-handed, but I just know his personality alone is going over really, really well, and he's got exactly what you need. You love him or you hate him. Yeah.
And the one thing we shouldn't forget either is in Europe, it's going over huge too. You know, you get the PAL in Europe, which is a professional arm wrestling league. And I mean, they get all the top Europeans over there going for cash money, you know, fairly good cash money, and drawing good crowds to it too.
And Igor and Hassan are both doing a great job. They're even bringing over North American guys. I know John, Travis, Michael Todd, Ron, Devin Lorette from Ottawa have all made trips overseas to participate in the vendettas or the whatever challenge matches they have going on. And it's great to watch, and it is helping arm wrestling all over the world.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, if it takes off in one spot, you just hope it's just going to spread. And that's all you can hope for. If it takes off in one country, hopefully it'll spread to another country, I mean, that's basically how WAF went from being 4 countries in 1979 to, like, I don't know what we are, 50 some odd countries today.
So would some sort of pro circuit work here in Canada? Say, just for example, Rick Pinkney starts up the Canadian Arm Wrestling League. So can that work, or we don't have the population?
Oh, I think there's definitely the possibilities there, but it's going to take a little bit of time, because one of the things I think there's a problem with arm wrestling is the general public out there doesn't understand it. They're just used to their father and their uncle arm wrestling over a kitchen table, and they don't understand what's going on when guys are, you know, top rolling and hooking and shoulder rolling, you know, and they're making 5, 6 moves. Their shoulders down below the table, it's up over top of the table. These guys, you know, and everything's happening in the blink of an eye. And I think the biggest thing right now is to educate the public on what's actually happening, and that's where they've actually done a good job. Travis and John Brzezinski and these guys, and I forgot his name now.
Can't help you on this one.
The guy that does arm pulling John.
Oh, Savan Matosian.
Yeah. They're doing an excellent job of trying to educate the public on what's going on at the table, and that's what we have to have. We have to have people as an announcer, just not a regular announcer saying what's going on. We need to educate the public on what's going on at that table. Why is it taking so long for these guys to hook up? What they're trying to accomplish when these guys, if you and I are up at the table, you know, they can get up there and explain, you're going to try this move, I'm going to try this move, you know, and during the match, what I'm attempting to do and what you're attempting to do and what's going on.
Okay, and I mean, for example, you have a personality like Travis. Here in Canada, we've had our own personality for quite a few years. Perry Broom, from Nova Scotia, now moved out to Alberta, and Perry had said to me on many times, you know what, if I could put on a show and entertain the crowd, I don't care if I win anymore.
Yeah.
As long as somebody's entertained, I've done my job.
Yeah.
So is it as simple as that?
I think so. I mean, when you think about it, what drove, wrestling through the roof was the entertainment part of it.
Yeah.
That's what drove that thing was, the guys jumping off the ropes and all this and that and the other thing. I mean, and the personalities, the guys getting up there and hitting somebody. I mean, I'm not promoting somebody hitting somebody with a chair, but just the fact that, it's the personalities that are making the sports. And that's what we need, is some personalities in there to boost the arm wrestling to the next level.
That and a sponsor.
Definitely.
Well, a sponsor for a professional league. And you know what? We have Joyce King from New Brunswick right here,
Yeah.
multiple-time world champion in Nova Scotia. We've got Mark McPhail, who's really coming into his own right now.
Yeah.
You move up to Quebec, you have Sylvain Perron. Ontario, you've got
Yeah.
Devin, Lorette, Earl Wilson. We have
Mike
Ryan
Gould.
Espy,
Yeah.
Mike Gould,
Yeah.
Troy Eaton from Ontario.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've got lots of top quality arm wrestlers, in Canada, and the thing is, they just don't get the exposure. But, I think the time will come. I mean, it may not be this group, it may be the next generation that actually pulls it through and sees that's what we're always hoping for, is the next generation. I'm actually into my third generation now in this.
Yeah, it almost does seem like, though, that right now we're right on the cusp of something happening. Are we going to be able to take that next step?
Well, that's a $1 million question.
Yeah.
What do we do to get that next step? And I think we're headed in the right direction. We've got many different people trying many different things. So hopefully, one of them is going to work. And it'll take it over the top.
Okay, so that's for the that takes care of the pro question. Now, you know what, the age-old question. Some people think it's just nothing but a pipe dream and a lot of talk, and other people really believe it's going to happen. Is arm wrestling ever going to get to the Olympics?
I don't think so. I really don't. Not in the next 20 years, anyway.
So is drug testing a way? Is that why we have drug testing, to try and show the Olympic Committee that we're serious, or are they trying to clean up the sport?
It's both, actually.
Okay.
I mean, you have to have drug testing to get in the Olympics. I mean, you can't go in, if we went in the Olympics and had, half a dozen guys, girls test positive for doping violations, they'd kick us right back out again. So, I mean, we're trying to clean up the sport. I mean, we haven't had that many positive tests. We've had one or two each year for the past couple of years that we've been doing it, which isn't a great deal when you consider how much, over 1,000, people are being, are in our competitions at the Worlds. So it's not that great amount of people, but we have to show that we're trying to do something, because you just can't have people out there just putting anything in their bodies. You have to look out for the safety of these people too. If they're not willing to do it, we have to try to do it.
But you know what, though? So if I choose to take those drugs, who are you to tell me I can't?
It's just like if you choose to drive 150 miles an hour down the highway.
True enough.
Yeah, you can do it. You can find a car to drive 150 miles, but you're going to kill yourself.
Yes. So if somebody does test positive, so what are the sanctions brought against the arm wrestler?
It's 2 years for the first violation. And
2 years. 2 year suspension.
2 year suspension for the first violation.
So 2 year suspension from where? I just want to clarify this point.
From WAF and WAF affiliated organizations.
WAF affiliated organizations.
Such
so, for
as the
example,
CAWF,
is
NSAWA type thing. You know what I mean? If you test positive at a WAF event, then you can't compete down here.
So you cannot compete at Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling sanctioned event.
Correct.
So if Scott McGuinness puts on an event outside Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling, can that penalized arm wrestler compete in my event? It's not a Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling sanctioned event. They still can compete. So if they compete in my event, can anything else be done with them?
No.
No? Okay. We're going to carry this on in just a minute. We'll be right back.